What's up, guys? Today let's take a look at CCS Toys FigScript Splinter Cell Blacklist Sam Fisher. This figure is kind of a strange case because I remember seeing this figure way back in 2024, and up until this year, right before it releases, I have only seen the unpainted prototype, and bam, when it's revealed, it got released in like 2 months later. And the availability of this figure is also kind of strange because the cutoff date got moved up, because from what I heard, CCS greatly underestimate the demand for this figure. Basically, they had produced like 2,000 units, and after a couple of weeks, they found out that they cannot fulfill all the demand. So right now, they only fulfill the pre-order amount from their Chinese official store. So any subsequent order from big retailers, import store, and basically all the overseas order has to be lumped into the second batch, which from what I heard, are currently being manufactured and should be finished in about maybe 2 months. Yeah, this figure is sort of a bizarre case. Thankfully, despite some design choices that I'm not a fan of, this figure turns out really well and has some nice gimmick to it. So without further ado, let's take a look at the figure. Let's first take a look at his overall proportion. I think the shoulder pad definitely make him a bit too bulky than he actually is. And yeah, they're just really big shoulder pad. And you can take a look at the chest cut here. This strap is supposed to be hang around here, but they move up to hide the chest cut. As you can see here, there's a pretty noticeable dip of the chest cut. It's not going to be a huge deal once you have his arm draped or, you know, have him posed, but it is there if you pay enough attention. And also because they sort of cut the chest pretty high, his abdominal section seems pretty long. Okay. Outside of these, I don't think I have much complaint in terms of the overall look of the figure. I especially like how they do different kind of finish on the figure. Right, this, you can tell this is Kevlar, and this is sort of a leathery look. Even this is a same piece of plastic. The different finish, like you can take a look at the leg here. I really like this kind of attention to detail, and the little paint job on the buckles are very nicely done. The watch is here, and let's take a look at the back. Everything is pretty meticulously done except for the shining joint, which we're going to talk a little bit later. Yeah, this is a very detailed figure. And let's take a look at the face. Oops. I think this is a very nicely done Sam Fisher face, although this bit of hair, like the front part of the hair, is a bit too shiny. I think this is a common issue, so not much I can do about it. Yeah, like I said, I think this is a overall very nicely looking figure and very highly detailed. I like it a lot. But can he pose? Let's take a look at his articulation. The head can look up. Frankly, not good enough. Look down, rotation, and tilt. So looking up is kind of limited. Let's see the neck here. Yeah, they definitely should cut a bit more at the back of the neck. Shoulder can go 360, of course. Shoulder pad is on a hinge ball joint, so they do move it out of the way. You can raise 9 degrees, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. Elbow here is very shiny, the elbow joint, as you can see here. It's not a huge deal here because the elbow pad is pretty big, but it's going to be a huge deal here. Well, not huge deal, it's going to be a bigger deal here. Okay, and wrist ball hinge. The shoulder also go up and down, back and forth, because this is a ball joint. Butterfly joint is a polo joint. Again, very shiny joint. And combining with the shoulder joint, this is definitely enough for a good rifle shooting or pistol shooting pose, right? And you need a good butterfly joint and a ball hinge wrist to have a good shooting pose. You can't do it with a hinge wrist, sorry. Okay, pull it back. Diaphragm joint can crunch forward this much, crunch back, a little bit gapping, and it's a little bit weird looking here. Side, and you can't really rotate 360. You can only rotate this much. Waist joint, back, side, rotation 360 degrees. So yeah, combining with two joint, he can crunch forward decently enough, and there's no huge gapping on the back, so that's nice. I think the torso articulation is definitely good enough. It looks a little bit outdated because this figure is definitely designed a few years back, so doesn't seem as seamless as, say, figures like this. Hip joint, there's a drop down. Okay, it's not a huge drop down. You can kick forward. About this much. Kick back. Side. Cross leg. I think he can kick forward a bit much, didn't he? Nope. Oh, you can have him kick a bit better. Use the side swivel, which is just a swivel, and double jointed knee. Has good range, but the knee joint is huge, as you can see, and untextured. So this is definitely one of my biggest criticism of this figure, right? They have very good details elsewhere, but somehow they missed this. It's weird. Boot swivel, and ankle go all the way back, a little bit forward. Ankle rocker is not super good. It's okay. And a toe joint, pretty good. So yeah, overall his articulation is nothing crazy. Probably will consider better in like 2025, 2024, but in 2026, this is not going to be like a crazy articulated figure. This is just okay. All right, they should definitely improve a bit more on the looking up. Let's take a look at his accessories. For head, of course, he comes with his iconic night vision goggle, and they can be activated by UV light. Not super noticeable here. And of course, a mask head that can also use the night vision goggle. Okay, and of course, you can put the goggle on the default head. problem. For hand, he comes with a pair of trigger finger hand and a pair of gun holding hand. For weapons, he comes with, this is his, let me zoom in. This is his USG 5.7. The magazine is removable, although they're very tight here, so I'm not gonna try. This is his SCIS, saying the magazine is removable, although the tactical light here is not painted. A bummer. And both pistols come with one spare magazine. The bullet here is painted, so that's pretty nice. This is his tactical knife. Okay. They can be stored here. The knife can be stored here. The pistol can be stored here. Like either of them will be fine. Just need to push a little bit down further. And this place is for the spare magazine storagement. You know what? You know how it goes. Both work here. And this is his crossbow. You can slowly, be careful, don't break it. You can slowly pull it out. And magazine is also removable, but again, it's super tight, so I'm not gonna try. And there's no spare magazine for the crossbow. And this is the good gimmick I was talking about. Watch this. That was freaking cool, right? This is his SIC 4000. Let's go in. You can store the magazine and sight here. I think this is the correct way, right? Do I have to push? Nope, can't really push it down. And there's also a silencer. Okay, and this is for the storagement. Can put it here and clip on the strap here. You know how it works. Oh, forgot something. Oops. This is the sight for the crossbow. Okay. And they also give you a baggie. This is the manual. This is a card. I assume this is for customer service. And what's this? I think this is a water slide decal. Yeah. And lastly, the CCS stand. You can't store accessory here, so it's just a stand. All right. I think this is a pretty good spread of accessories, and this is definitely one of the coolest accessories I have ever seen. Let's try it again. How cool is that? Yeah, let's take a look at the size comparison with UPF Arkham Knight and Amazing Yamaguchi Arkham Nightwing. I'm using Nightwing here is because the solid snake from Amazing Yamaguchi is probably going to be around the same height. This Kibash Baki / Kenshin here is because the same body is going to be used. This is the Nodaman body, okay? They're going to use it for the upcoming Kraken Studio MGS3 Solid Snake, so they should be around the same height. And this is the Figma's MGS2 Solid Snake. I don't have the Lim Toys MGS5 Venomous Snakes, but from what I heard, he is going to be quite a bit shorter compared to Sam here, with Mayfex and Stone Arena, Sexy Ice and Acid Ring, Marvel Legend, and McFarlane. I don't have any G.I. Joe at the moment. It's in one of my storage, so I assume he's going to be slightly shorter, just like the Marvel Legend movie Wolverine here. Yeah, this is definitely a sleeper hit for me this year so far. I didn't expect it to come out so soon if they officially revealed it, and definitely didn't expect it to have this level of finish and quality, and the very fun accessories. The design and range of motion certainly need to be improved a bit. For example, he cannot look up very much, which means his ab crunch will be less useful and he cannot do a good poom shooting pose. And those knees, if you're not going to sculpt details on them, at least put a matte finish, because right now they're kind of distracting when when the knees are fully bent. And the front kit probably can be improved a bit as well, but he can do all sorts of usual military and tactical pose well enough, so it's not a huge deal. And considering the price, I think I paid about $60 to $65. And this guy on Big Bad Toy Store is about $90, which is not cheap, but comparing this guy to, for example, usual Mayfax figure, or Haya's Ghost in the Shell figure, for example, this figure is definitely way higher quality compared to them. Lastly, I know a lot of people are going to compare this guy to the upcoming Action Force Splinter Cell figures because they are both licensed. Force one is going to be more budget friendly and have better value proposition probably, and I can't say I have much experience in Action Force. I only have one of their Crimson Praetorian, and that robot guy, I think it's alright. The thing is, and this is very much a personal preference, not trying to shit on Action Force or anything, but I really prefer my military figure to have good butterfly range and a ball hand wrist, and doesn't seem like Action Force had either, so I think I'll just stick with it because he can achieve the poses that I want, and doesn't seem like Action Force figures can provide them. So yeah, that's my thought. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.